All right, anyways, Boulder Smart. Fantastic Friday. Cavs Pacers to go 7 games plus 260. What do you think, Horvat? Boulder Smart?
I'm going to say bold, to be honest with you, man. I think that the Cavs are a good regular season team. I'm not still fully sold on them, but I think this series goes at most 6. I like this Pacers team. I just don't know that they play enough defense, man. Like, coming into the year, I wanted to buy in onto the Cavs, just like I did last year, but Donovan Mitchell at times let me down in Utah when we got to the playoffs, and I believed in them. And then I wanted to see how they were going to use Evan Mobley and Jared Allen on the floor at the same time. I thought one of them had to develop a jumper. Luckily for them, it was both of them actually kind of did. I like this Cavs team a little bit more than I thought, though, coming into the year, coming into the playoffs. I think this series ends in 6 unless there's an injury. So I'm going to say bold.
I am going to agree with you. I think this is just one of those times. I had a middle school coach named Tom Grant. We got our asses kicked in a rivalry game. He walked into the room. He took off his big straw hat. He pulled up a weight bench. We were waiting to get chewed out, and he said, "Boys, today you had the biggest problem in sports. The other team was just better than you are." I like this team a lot, but what Cleveland did this year is very impressive. I just think they're a better basketball team. I think Indiana can get maybe 2 of them, but I don't think they're getting more than that.
I hope they win the whole series for Mario, the Sirs. I hope they do it for you, man. I hope that we're all together, me, you, Rob, Cody, Brad, Andrew, Mitch especially, on his tab, and I hope we're all at St. Elmo's celebrating in Indy, baby. Grant's there doing snooters in the bathroom.
I'm not going to lie to you, man. I really kind of root for them when they face like a big market team. When they face another team that's in kind of like the same market area, it kind of is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If this was the Knicks, I'm like, please.
Let me ask you a question really quick. Sorry, Rob. So when I was in Milwaukee, you know what I always hated, dude? Being like from Chicago, is that little brother syndrome. Like, cause I'm, and everybody always be like, "How are you a Packer fan and a Cub fan?" And I'd say, well, cause like my uncle did play-by-play for the Packers, dude. So growing up, I'd come to Lambeau Field and I was gonna cheer for the team that my uncle did play-by-play for. And then he also did play-by-play for the Brewers, but they were the Milwaukee Braves at the time. So who cares? But like, I fell in love with the Cubs because I was from Chicago. I liked one team in football, and it was because I've never seen anything like it, dude. The fans own it. It really is. Like, unless you're a diehard Bears fan. Like, growing up, going there with my family, it was so awesome, Lambeau Field. But everything else, I'm Chicago until I die, right? But, you know, do you guys have that in Indy where when I was in Milwaukee, it'd always be like, every phone call was, well, the national media, Stephen A. doesn't want to talk about us. All they talk about is when is Giannis. Who cares what Stephen A. thinks? Like, who cares what Mad Dog thinks? Like, why is everybody always so worked up about what Mad Dog and what Stephen A. think about their team? Here's a question. What do you think about your team? It's okay to not be a robot in the year 2025 in today's society and have your own opinion. This is why I hate social media. The Shador joke. The Shador joke. Now I kind of want Shador just to ball out because everybody had the same takes and the same jokes. It's all like robots. That's why everybody's like, why do you like Aaron Rodgers? Because his interviews like they make me laugh. He's hilarious to me. He's going to say the weirdest stuff. It's going to anger everybody. You're going to bring politics into it for some reason. And that's what I love, man. But that's my whole thing is I always hated that in Milwaukee. Oh, the media wants us to lose. Who cares? Like, you have Giannis. You have the best player. You're going against Devin Booker, choke artist. Enjoy it while you have it. But anyway, is that how you think that they feel in Indianapolis? Or are they like, because I would rather have you guys be like this. Like in Detroit, they were like this. F them. It's our time now. I'd rather have that kind of feeling than, oh, they're going to get all the calls. It's Boston. It's Cleveland.
Yeah, it's more of an F them type of attitude.
Yeah, that's what I want.
It's more of like, especially because there's a bigger pride in Indiana for like basketball. Like, it's always like, you might be more talented, you might be better, but we play the best team basketball. Like, that's always the pride in it. And like, if you go to a bar in Indianapolis and you ask, you know, who's going to win, the top 5 best Indiana basketball players versus the top 5 New Yorkers, you're going to get knocked out if you say New York.
Yeah, like, sack up a little bit. Let's be honest. Yeah. Like, that's what I always wanted to say in Milwaukee, and I did all the time. I'd be like, you got the best player, you know? Chris Paul is going to die in this series eventually. So enjoy this while you get it, because in sports, it also doesn't matter what market you're in. We shouldn't even bring markets into this. The Dodgers every year are going to spend $1 billion on their team, while the rest of us just like hope to spend like $200 million. And yet they'll still choke it up, right? Like they need COVID. in Disney just to get a world. Now, I know last year. We're not counting that, though. They got Ohtani. Go on, Mario. My bad.
All right. Knicks Celtics to go 5 games plus 200. Rob, I'll start with you on this. Can New York hang around with the Boston and at least force it to 5? What do you think? Bold or smart?
I'm going to go smart because even if Cat and Jalen Brunson both have a game, the Celtics are better. And I would take either one of those guys. Like Brunson has got, what's he got hurt like 7 times in the last series, right? Well, like we got ankles and quads going south on him. Karl Anthony Towns is either going to go out there and give you 17 and 9, or he's going to give you 15 boards and 4 points. And there's like no in between. But even if you pair both of those up together, I talked about this earlier. I think the reason I've got the C's going back to back is if it's not a Jason Tatum night, it's a Jaylen Brown night. If it's not a Jaylen Brown night, it's a Derek White night. That's what they did last year. If it's not any one of those guys, Porzingis can do enough to kind of run the offense through him and open up the floor. And most importantly, they play any of those 4 styles of basketball like efficiently, right? Like there's plenty of other teams that, well, if it ain't this guy, it's this guy, but we can't really adapt the offense to them. I think Boston absolutely can, and I think that is the reason they are the most versatile and adaptable team in the NBA. So I like the Knicks. Like I'm pulling for them in a weird way. Because I feel bad for the people of New York that the product has been the product as long as it's been. But at the end of the day, dude, the Boston Celtics are the best team in basketball, in my opinion. I think this series is 4 games to 2 at the best.
Yeah, I agree, man. Maybe, just maybe, the Knicks do steal 1, right? We get that Game 5 money. But my buddy from Boston called me the other day, and he's like, hey, are we betting a clean sweep? Are we betting the Celtics in 5? And my response was, who's Kawhi taking? Because the Celtics, Boston, we're shipping up to Boston. I woke up this morning, played some dropkick Murphys, headbutted a wall, bet Tatum to win Finals MVP one more time, plus 280. Here's the thing about the Knicks, dude, right? Like, Jalen Brunson's awesome, but either he's going to pull up with 20 seconds on the shot clock from 38, or he's going to hold the ball, he's going to dribble around. It's all ISO. I hate watching the Knicks offensively, and I want to be the biggest Tibbs guy, and I do think that he's like, other than having a super team with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett, I think he's the reason that Celtics team won a championship because Doc's clearly an idiot, right? But, like, he's got to go. The Knicks are a mess. This series has exposed him as a little bit of a mess. I think he needs a vacation, kind of like I do. I think, like, we got to get Tibbs on a beach. Get him in some swim trunks. I know that sounds weird. Get him out of like a sweatsuit. He's only wore a tracksuit for the last like 3 decades, man. Every time you see Tibbs, he's in what? A Timberwolves tracksuit, a Bulls tracksuit, or now a Knicks tracksuit. Get his mind off basketball, because every year it's the same team. He runs his star player into the ground. His star player is a 6'2" guard. Jalen Brunson was awesome in that last series, but it was against the Detroit Pistons. And I love Cade Cunningham, but the other players are Malik Beasley, who was banging Pippen's wife the last 2 years, Jalen Duren. You know what I mean? Like, Mario, name me some of these other names, these has-beens. So what I'm saying is, like, no, it's over. Like, anybody with a clue or brains that isn't in New York bing-bonging knows this is at most going 5. So, yeah, I guess that's a good bet. Smart.
All right.
Did you just say bing bonging?
And banging in the same segment.
Yeah,
I've been checking up on my FCC. I know I could say banging and bing bonging. I'm like Jamiroquai.
And banging the same thing?
Well, banging is what Pippen's wife was doing,
no.
Right? And bing bong is like a big Knicks thing.
Yeah, it's a Knicks thing.
Yeah. That's why I like Knicks fans. I kind of want them to beat the Celtics, dude. But it just ain't gonna happen. Like, let's say Jason Tatum goes out tonight and gets a DWI. Well, Jaylen Brown's still going to score 30 in this series. Let's say he's in the car with Jason Tatum and they're switching up and they both get suspended for the series. I think Boston would still beat the Knicks in 7. I really mean that. If Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown got Celtic Prided, if you haven't seen the movie, please check it out.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah. And they were both kidnapped. I really think Boston would still beat New York. With Derek White, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, Hauser, Mario, I really think Boston still wins that series. And the Knicks have all the talent in the world, dude. The Knicks have all the talent in the world, but like Tibbs can't coach for whatever reason in this series. I love Cat, the player, his skill set, but he's so soft, dude. He's so soft, man. How do I know? I just bet money on him last night. And we won, but that was a sweat. They gave up a 13-0 run to the Pistons. Like, they had to sweat to beat the Pistons. So, yeah, the Celtics are going to wipe their ass with them. Hope that's
Can we point out how fast Mario was to point out that he's seen a movie there? Like that, like it's Captain America. I understood that reference.
He's like, I haven't seen Godfather 2, but I have.
No, I've seen God. You know, I have.
He's got a good list. I'm not here. Yeah. I'm not here to rag on Mario's filmology.
Yeah,
on a Friday night. He's just young.
Anything mob I've seen.
He's just young, so he hasn't seen like Men at Work, or like
True.
Mario, what do you got?
All right, bold or smart? Being 70 years old and date a 24-year-old and have her run everything. Bold or smart?
Yeah, I'll start with this one. I'm gonna say bold. I'm gonna say dumb. I see all these weirdos on social media, and like, don't get me wrong, Bill Belichick, his girlfriend Jordan, I believe is her name, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She
my queen, by the way. Let's be nice.
Yeah,
Miss Chapel Bill.
Yeah, she is. She's up there, right? Like she's very good looking, but Bill Belichick is pushing 80 years old, dude. And I don't think there's anything weirder than being the 80-year-old that's dating the 30-year-old. I got to be honest, man. And no fist bumps for me. No social media fist bumps for me. When I'm 70, I want to be, you know where I want to be? At home with my wife, who's also 70 or 60 or 50, but not 20 frickin' 4, dude. What do they talk about? What do they have in common, right? Like, Mario, I like to think I'm hip, right? Yeah. You come in here sometimes, I have no idea what you're even talking about, dude. I see the same band in concert. I'm not even 40 yet, and I see the same band in concert every summer 18 plus times. You're talking about Gunna and Wanna, and I'm seeing the Dave Matthews Band, bro. What the F? I almost swore for the first time in show history. What are Bill Belichick and Jordan Green or whatever? Like, what are they talking about right now at dinner?
Social media. That's a good question. Maybe social media. Like, I don't even know.
Maybe. Rob, what are they talking about? You're a married man.
Listen,
he can't even. He don't know.
Today I got off the air at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I came home, and I did a segment with the Persian Love Machine, Jay Kassan. And then my wife and I both got very excited because today was the plant and flower extravaganza at the local farmer's market. And we spent 2 hours because Rob Brown's a gardener now. I've got a pepper garden that I put down every year, and then I make homemade salsa. She grows the tomatoes and the onions. I grow the pepper. And, like, that's our big thing. And that's because we're both 40 years old and we share things in common. I'm sorry. Like, I am 100% the live and let live and do what you want to do and be with who you want to be with. There is only one group of people in America that I think need to stop being who they are, and that's furries. Everybody else do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Here's the issue. I'm not even going to hate on a 74-year-old man dating a 24-year-old girl because, come on, we all know why they're both doing it. It's a transactional relationship, and that's fine. Whatever. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with, and I'm sorry, Mario, I'm taking this to task. What I have an issue with is the North Carolina Tar Heels hired Bill Belichick to come down, and in the new age of college football, where you have to run your football program like an NFL franchise, they brought in the most successful NFL coach of all time and said, hey, run our program like an NFL team, and that's fantastic. What they did not say was come run our football program like an NFL team and hand over all the controls to your 24-year-old girlfriend who is an entrepreneur. And guess what? I would be too if my wife was a multimillionaire and one of the most powerful, influential figures in America. I'd call myself that too. Entrepreneur in this case means can do whatever she wants to do because she's got a multimillionaire, very famous, very powerful boyfriend, 50 plus years her senior. The issue with this to me, fellas, is not the age range, whatever. They're consenting adults. Is it weird? Yeah. Do I care? No, it ain't my business. It ain't my life. What's weird is the fact that North Carolina is paying Bill tens of millions of dollars to come run this football program, and he's effectively handed the keys of the brand over to a 24-year-old girl who is barely older than the guys on the football team itself. Yeah. I kind of feel like North Carolina's got to be looking at this like, what the hell did we do? We did not hire Jordan Mason to come run this program. We hired Bill Belichick to do it. And he is getting told what he is and is not going to talk about in an interview that could help shape the brand. That should have been a moment that North Carolina got a bunch of clips to put on the internet and be like, hey, look who we are. We are the NFL franchise now. Come play for us. And instead, we got the two most influential sports talkers in the world, Ryan and Rob, talking about Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend instead of North Carolina football. If I was North Carolina, I would be furious about this.
Yeah, totally, dude. And I even said, like, I was like, on social media even, I was like, I don't give an F, man. I don't care about Bill Belichick. I don't care about his girlfriend. Because I said this right away. When everybody was running to bet over 6.5, over 7.5 wins, bet them to win the ACC. Like, did Clemson die? Like, did the entire program just get wiped out? And I know that everybody's not the biggest, like, Dabo guy because he doesn't want to go and he doesn't want to, hit the transfer portal. But Cade Klubnik might be the best quarterback in the country. And people are betting North Carolina to win the ACC. I think that's crazy. You want to bet their win total, that's on you. But, like, those last couple of years, man, in New England were bad. The defenses were good. But what makes you think the offense is going to be any good at North Carolina? Who's the quarterback, man? And, maybe in a year or two, but even Deion, year one at Colorado, won 5 games, dude. So I just wasn't running to bet over 7.5, over 8.5 wins. And like you said, it's not my world. It's not my relationship. But I think it's weird because, I'm trying to think of what I could say and what I can't say without getting in trouble. But like the whole like CBS thing, dude, even like them coming out and being like, this interview was even worse than you guys know about. It really does seem like Bill's getting played. And you hate to see it. For, of all people, Bill Belichick, him getting played like that, it's just sad. Mario, hit this next one. This is the one that also made me laugh.
Wait. I'm sorry.
No, give your take on this. What?
I was going to say, I need Mario's take.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're the Carolina guy.
About this than any of us.
It's frustrating because you go from being excited for the season to like not excited because if the drama's bad now, it's only going to get worse as the season comes along.
I think you can still be excited, dude. It's either going to be a mess and it's going to be hilarious, or it's going to be like, hey, we're awesome because we got Bill F. and Belichick.
Well, there's also things about this that just are infuriating to me. Of where like they try to come across as like, oh, we don't want like all this attention on us. We don't want to take away from the book. We don't want to take away from the Carolina football program. You're doing that constantly by being in the CBS interview, by interrupting. Now you're a problem. Now you're the story. By doing these weird posts on social media, now you're the story. You know everything that you do. You know your intention. And you know what you want out of it. And that's my problem with it. If they would have just came out and said, like Bill was just like, hey, I'm dating someone that's really, younger than me, and it's a little weird, but hey, I'm happy. I think everyone would be like, all right, sounds good, and just kind of move on with their day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she wouldn't be dating him if she wasn't getting something out of it.
Yeah. So it's frustrating, and like North Carolina as a whole is just pissing me off because Hubert Davis is a whole different story on that side. But like I said, it's just taken away from, all right, this is exciting. We have a Super Bowl winning coach, arguably the best coach we've seen in history, and now we have to worry about the PR and just football operations being ran through someone with no experience, and we don't really know what's going on, and every interview is just more of a disaster than the last one.
I don't, as you pointed out earlier, like I don't have the ability to communicate with a 24-year-old person. I ticked 40 off the books back in February. There's no world in which I'm having an even close to successful romantic relationship with somebody who I don't understand half of the words that they say. No cap, bro. But to me, it's not my business. I don't care if a 74-year-old's dating a 24. It's not my business. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. What I care about in this situation is the University of North Carolina paid Bill to come in and run their football program like an NFL franchise, because that's where we're going in college sports. When the House settlement comes down, probably sometime next week, and we have revenue sharing and we have roster limitations and we have cap and we have everything the NFL has with the exception of a players union, which is also coming down the pipe one day. I want my program to be out ahead of the curve of being run like an NFL program. And here comes the most powerful guy in the history of the National Football League and his 24-year-old girlfriend is running our branding, is the one having conversation, telling the media what they will and will not talk about. If a journalist is coming practice, she has to review their tweets to make sure it's up to guidelines. No, that's not why I'm paying you $10, $15, $20 million a year, Bill. It's not. I don't care about the relationship part. It's not up to me, whatever. If they can figure out a way to get along because Bill's getting it from a 24-year-old, because homegirl is in Bill's bank account and able to be an entrepreneur, congratulations. I'm jealous. Let's be real. I'm being a hater. I wish somebody would come along and go, here you go, Rob, here's $10 million. Do whatever you want. Be an entrepreneur. That would be awesome. Good for both of them. They won out of it. North Carolina should be furious that they're paying Bill to run an NFL franchise and it's being run by a 24-year-old woman. That's just not acceptable.
I'm gonna say it because Mario did a great job with these. Like I said, Travis Scott being a huge part of WrestleMania for no reason. Rob, would you say this was bold or smart? I think we're both gonna go bold. I think you're gonna be a little bit more fired up about it than I was. You know what I really wanted to see? Travis Scott after busting my guy Cody Rhodes' eardrum. He had to catch one, dude. And just getting a crossroads? BS. I wish he would have. Hold on. Here's my take. This might be the funniest thing I've ever said, at least at the Horvat WrestleMania party. I told my brother, I said, Travis Scott is never allowed to rap about anything tough again. Did you see that punch that he threw? There's no way he ever threw a punch ever in his life, dude. That looked like the NBA players. Like when they don't really want to get in it, like they don't really want none of that business, so they just try to bitch slap you. That was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Your thoughts on it?
My thought is you didn't give me enough time to get the rage and the anger out that I have. That was dumb as hell. You know what I wanted to see in that WrestleMania event? Not Travis Scott. I'm going to need Dwayne. I know you're listening, Dwayne. You're not The Rock to me anymore.
He's a big fan.
Dwayne, you're just corporate shill sellout, not kayfabe, IRL. You're a sellout, Dwayne, and I'm over you. Dwayne, The Rock is dead. It's just Dwayne now. When my man said, I didn't want to be there and overshadow the event. Let me get this right. It was an important enough moment in history that you didn't want to be there and overshadow it, but not quite important enough not to send out non-wrestler Travis Scott, right? Like, I'm not against celebrity run-ins at WrestleMania. That's what WrestleMania is for. But you had John Cena become the most winningest heavyweight champion in the history of this industry, and you sent out Travis Scott to influence the matchup. You should have gotten rid of Dwayne from the beginning of this angle, Horvat. And if you wanted a Cena turn, you should have just had Cena turn in that match. This whole thing was dumb as hell.
I agree, dude. Cody Rhodes beats the entire bloodline, but he can't beat Travis Scott and 55-year-old John Cena with the receding hairline. Weird.